Welcome back to Yo Mamba Productions. Today we're talking about the 1950s to 60s, starting out with the top actors. The first actor on the list is John Wayne, who is in movies like Rio Bravo, The Searchers, and The Quiet Man. He was very famous for being in westerns, and that was his specialty. Other than that, he wasn't in much, but he's still pretty famous. The next one I want to talk about is Marilyn Monroe, who is in movies like River of No Return, Niagara, and How to Marry a Millionaire. She was famous for her movies and for being a supermodel because everybody thought she was really pretty. Next, I want to talk about James Dean, who is in films like Rebel Without a Cause, East of Eden, and Giant. I don't really know what else he was famous for other than being in movies, but I would assume it was for being a young, attractive fella. The next one I want to talk about is Gene Kelly. Gene Kelly was in It's Always Fair Weather, Leg Girls, and Singing in the Rain, which is probably what he's most famous for. I don't know though, I think this is a very funny caricature of him. But you should not confuse him with the evil R. Kelly, because he didn't do. R. Kelly did something wrong, but Gene didn't. Next, I want to talk about Frank Sinatra. He was famous for his singing, but he also did movies like Never So Few, A Hole in the Head, and Some Came Running. Many people idolize Frank Sinatra. Then the next thing I want to talk about is the top movies like Roman Holiday with Audrey Hepburn, who we forgot to mention in the top actors, but she was in a lot of stuff like Funny Face, also starring Audrey Hepburn. And guess what? Gene Kelly was in this one called An American in Paris, which was another top movie. The next one is Sabrina, which also had Audrey Hepburn again. Very cool. Next, I want to talk about Some Like It Hot, which had Marilyn Monroe, which was one of our top actors. And I also want to talk about Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. But there was not only movies, but there was also TV shows like Gunsmoke, a very famous western for its good characters and story, just like The Twilight Zone, which was very spooky at the time. And The Rifleman was good too, but so was Godzilla, which was a very great movie, and so was Singing in the Rain with Gene Kelly. Next, I want to talk about memorable moments, like the invention of Technicolor, which was pretty cool, but it wasn't the full thing. The Singing in the Rain pole dance scene was also very iconic. It also created modern genres. And look at this production of Godzilla, isn't that pretty cool? There's also The Thing from Another World, which was the first sci-fi movie, and there was Something on the Wing, which was very scary. And look at Gumby, he's very memorable.
Up next, we have popular genres, the first of which is thrillers. Next, we have westerns. After that, we have dramas. New to the 50s and 60s, we have sci-fi movies. After that, we have romance movies, popular. After that, we have historical epics. These were highly favored. After that, we have fantasy. Up next, we have top directors and producers of the time. First up, Stanley Kubrick with 16 films. After that, we have Federico Fellini with 24 films. Next, we have Sergio Leone with 7 films, notable being The Good, Bad, and the Ugly. After that, we have Billy Wilder, 32 films. After that, we have Alfred Hitchcock, 53 films. After him, we have Jean-Luc Godard with 8 films. Second to last, Ingmar Bergman with 60 plus films. And lastly, Akira Kurosawa with 30 films.
New technologies and techniques. The invention of the Kinemacolor. 3D in new movies and screenings. Stereophonic sound, which allowed the viewer to hear all around their head. Green screen, which allowed for more daring scenes to be shot with editing and visual effects. The drive-in movie theater, very known and well loved. The Fiend.